So, first thing I want to say is when it came to the acting theater classroom, I never feel like I fit. And it wasn't just because I was Black, it's because I always pushed against what the norms were, right? What they said, well, this is just normal theater pedagogy. This is what you should be learning. And I always question, but why? Why is this the norm? Why isn't there more? Can't we keep exploring? And I was always deemed the bad child, annoying, because I asked the question, why? And so this kind of, my journey, let's go all the way back. We winded it all the way back. Let's go all the way back to when I was in high school. I was actually, I was a smart kid, really smart, into academics, loved science, math, all that stuff. And I went into my freshman year of high school and I had a crazy class load already. And someone said, why don't you just take theater class because it'll be an easy A? That is literally the reason I signed up for theater. And I was like, yeah, okay. That sounds, what do you do? Just play games and that sounds great. So I remember doing it and it was so much fun. And I wanted to audition for the play. And this is, again, my first introduction to theater, quote unquote, proper, right? Having an audition and doing the thing. And years ago, I was auditioning for a local production as a kid at a downtown library of Alice in Wonderland. And I think I was cast as a duck and they never did the show and whatever. So like, since I was a little kid, this is literally my first introduction to theater. And so I remember they were doing the show called Crimes of the Heart, Beth Henley, right? And my drama teacher at Massaponax High School, I was auditioning for Crimes of the Heart, and literally she's like, well, you can't be one of the sisters because you don't match. And I was like, huh? Wait, just a play? Just, aren't we playing pretend? Does it really matter? Maybe they could come from somewhere else. And I just remember thinking at that time, like, I don't even get a chance at all because of my skin color, and there's nothing I can do to change that. And remember, this is in Virginia. This is a teacher who went to school in Alabama, and that was my first introduction into theater. And looking back, I've thought about that incident so many times. I wrote about it on a college essay, and it made me realize that oftentimes the barrier to entry for Black people and people of color, Indigenous people, there's not even a chance for you to begin. So even before you've taken the class, even before you've spent the years training, even before you were at the level of the people working at Broadway Coalition and Broadway Black and doing the Tonys, these are people who've worked and they're at the top. Even just if you want to begin and say, I just want to take a class, I just want to audition for a show at a school. If this was my first exposure to theater, like actually doing a play, and my first exposure to that is you don't even get a chance because of your skin color. It wasn't because I was new to acting. It wasn't because I was new to theater or saying, you know what, there's been some other actors who are in higher level grades than you. I guess I appreciate the honesty because there's no beating around the bush. But if that was my initial exposure, my barrier to entry, I could have just said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I would have missed out on my complete path and calling and journey as an actor, as a teacher. Everything would have been gone from that moment on. So the barrier to entry we need to talk about. And again, when I thought about this letter, this white American theater letter, I started to think about education and the educational classroom and the issues that I wanted to talk about regarding this. So I immediately thought back to, I wouldn't even be here if I didn't have to persevere even past my barrier to entry into trying to do something that just seemed interesting to me, that then became much more later, right?